Alright everyone, welcome back to Knowing the Game. Today we're going to be talking about some of the principles to dating success. And one of the founding principles to dating is learning to compromise. Look, it's human nature to be selfish, but you have to be more open and in tune with the person that you're dating in order for things to progress. Ask any married person what they had to give up or what they had to compromise in order to get into that actual marriage situation. Or ask anybody in a relationship, what do they often have to compromise, in order to make the relationship work? I mean, you're so used to doing your own thing, and that's cool, I understand that, I get it, you've been single for a while, but you're gonna have to come out of that shell and try something new for a change. I mean, if you don't like to talk on the phone, I get it, I don't like to talk on the phone either. Every now and then you're gonna have to make that compromise. If you don't like to text, I understand. Every now and then you're gonna have to make that compromise to text. Maybe you don't like to travel, maybe you don't like to go out to eat, maybe they do. Every once in a while you're gonna have to come out of your comfort zone, do something that you're not used to, especially if you like the person, in order for that relationship to advance any further than what it is. If you wanna get past date 1, 2, or 3, learn how to compromise. Principle number 2, check your pride and ego at the door. Look, if you want things to advance further, then you're gonna have to come to terms with this particular scenario. There's nothing wrong with texting or calling first. There's nothing wrong with saying goodnight first or saying I love you or I like you first. Now, if you're both sitting around waiting on each other to be the first one to say it or do it, then y'all will never advance anywhere. So just keep that in mind, man. Check that ego, check that pride, throw it out the door. If you want everything to go smoothly, if you want everything to be successful, follow that principle. Principle number 3, pay attention to detail. In my dating endeavors, I found out that everything means something, whether she's flipping or twirling her hair, maybe a casual laugh at something that you know wasn't funny, or maybe she changed her hair, maybe she bought new earrings or lost weight. Definitely pay attention to that, compliment on that, and especially ladies when it comes to guys. Pay attention to their cues also, because guys, they don't really express a lot of things with their words. They express everything with their actions. So you definitely have to pay a lot closer attention to what guys are doing as opposed to what they're saying. If you follow that principle, then you should have no problem moving forward, or at least getting the intel that you need to decide whether you want to move forward or not. Principle 4, and this one should be the most common sense. Be a gentleman, be a lady. These are the easiest things that you can do when it comes to dating someone. I mean, fellas, open doors, pull out chairs, pump their gas. I mean, that's easy, that's simple stuff. That's dating 101. You'd be surprised how many of y'all aren't doing this, and how many times I hear ladies complain about guys aren't being chivalrous anymore and they're not doing the little things that I just mentioned. So if you're doing those things, it's gonna put you way ahead of some of the other lambs that are out there trying to impress the same woman that you're trying to date. And ladies, it takes no effort to say thank you and to not have such an attitude, not have such an independent mindset. Be classy when you're out there. Everybody, both of you, male and female, watch your language. I mean, who wants to hear filth, floor, and filth all day long on a date? Especially on a first date. You definitely want to keep that under wraps. Some people, they're just not into that type of conversation. They want to hear more intellectual things. So always remember, just be on your P's and Q's. I'm not talking about being fake or anything. Definitely be yourself, but be a better you, if that makes sense. And the final principle, skip the sex talk. Fellas, sometimes it's a trap. They'll spark it off just to see where your head's at, and then you just get carried away with all the things that you want to talk about as it relates to sex. And ladies, on the other hand, if you're the one that's initiating the sex talk, then you can't be upset necessarily with the guy for wanting to talk more about sex because you brought it up first. So just to keep everything even Steven, leave the sex talk out of it until you're both very comfortable with yourselves and each other's company. And then just let that gradually come along as you go. Around like day 3 or 4, you'll probably be more comfortable with each other and you'll be more comfortable talking about stuff like that. And some people aren't. It just happens. But fellas, as soon as they bring that up, casually change the conversation to something else. Pretend like you didn't even hear it. Trust me, you get a lot further if you just let it go as opposed to trying to reel them in. folks, there you have it. Those are some of my principles to dating, whether right or wrong, whether you agree or not. It could work. It's not a general statement just for everybody. It doesn't work in every situation. But 95% of the time I've found that it's completely accurate and it will get you a lot further along. Some people, they just don't get it. They're just stuck in their ways, so it's probably not gonna work for them. You don't wanna date those type of people anyway. Without further ado, feel free to like, comment, post, share, and subscribe to Knowing the Game.